Hi everyone, hope everyone's having a good night. This is my normal base face, which means that I've already got CCTM and light all over my face put on with my skincare. This is Creme Beige Make Sense Foundation, oil-free, non-comedogenic, which means it doesn't clog your pores. Adjusts up to 3 shades up or down. So if you put it on and you think, oh, that's not quite right, give it 10 minutes and it will adjust. Stipple for extra coverage. Always stipple, and if you'll notice if you pay attention that I stipple in the areas that I'm not going to later cover with extra products. So where I'm not going to put my deep CCTM for contour, I keep trying to say concealer then, for contour, I take the time to get a bit of the product everywhere I want it, and then once it's dispersed around my face, I go in and I blend properly. Then I go back to the little remaining bits that are on the foundation lid, which is my palette for my foundation. And if I need to add a little more, this time I didn't, and that is Pearlizer in Firefly. That's a limited edition, and I'm wearing that both as a highlighter and a blush today. I love that with these colored pearlizers we can do that. It creates a really pretty effect. So blending that down into my contour. That is Candlelight Shadowsense, and that's to cancel out the dark circles. Peach cancels out blue. So on the nights that it may not have been so restful, I definitely go in with Candlelight. And then this is Whisper Pink. It's one of the colors that I use as an under eye brightener. And you always want to pull that down onto the bone, because if you just leave it under the eye, the bone will actually look like a ridge, and it will make that hollow look deeper because you've brightened it without pulling it down onto the cheek. So smoked topaz for my brows. As you know, this is my standard, and I start just in from the center because I don't want to go in right on the middle of my brows or the start of my brows with the most product, because wherever you touch first is where the most product is going to be. Run a spoolie through and clean lips. Now I knew what I wanted to do for my lips today, so I was setting myself up to do lips first, and then I would be able to judge how much I wanted to build up my Shadowsense. I did, however, go in with Snow while I was waiting for my lips to dry. You want your lips to be completely dry before you go in with Lipsense, or it's not going to last as long. So today I went in with 2 layers of Purple Rain and 1 of Bee Ruby, and can I tell you, that might be one of my favorite combinations yet. There's a lot of Lipsense colors that I love either on my own or in certain colors, or combinations I should say, but this was a winner. And as a bonus, of course, it did match my top perfectly. Not sure the light really quite did it justice, to be honest, in the photos, that how close that match that was, but it was very good. So this is layer 2. Purple Rain, in actuality, if it wasn't in this stark light, because it's pitch black outside, is slightly more purple than it looks in this photo, but it was still a perfect match for the top. Purple Rain is a retired color, but my goodness, is it gorgeous, and does it stay super well. So I have 2 in stock. If you want one, please let me know while they're still there, because I'm going to keep wearing it. Just tidying it up slightly before I go in with Bee Ruby. Always a risk when I continue on with my glasses when they're slightly fogged up. So this is Bee Ruby, and it's just got a sparkle to it. It's a very similar color, slightly deeper, slightly less pink, and with a bit of a sparkle. Now with Lipsense, you apply 3 super thin layers, dry between each layer, and I always dry slightly longer between 2 different colors or before the glossy gloss. And then you'll get 4 to 18 hours wear. It's smudge proof, which means that when I have a drink of coffee, when I go for a water glass, I'm going to know that I'm not going to have a lips print on my glass. And I can't tell you how nice that feels. The novelty still hasn't worn off. That's Amethyst. very, very lightly. That is purple that I'm building up super lightly there. The novelty still hasn't worn off of being out in a cafe and looking around and seeing all these women with lipstick coated glasses, and mine is clean. Maybe it shouldn't make me as happy as it does, but it truly does. So there I'm going in, I'm deepening up the Shadowsense, and that's another smudge proof product. It also contains skincare. So when I go in and I apply it, I've got about 60 to 90 seconds to move it around to get it where I want it before it dries. Once it's dried, it's in place. So I wouldn't be able to move that snow in the inner eye now if I wanted to. I don't, so that's just fine. But that just gives you a bit of context as to how long it takes for it to dry. That's glossy gloss going in over the Lipsense, seals it in for the day and takes away the stickiness. A lot of people, when they hear gloss, think of stickiness or tackiness, and can promise you I don't find glossy gloss to be sticky. This is the limited edition Lavender Shadowsense. It's a beautiful colour. I can't wait to start using it as a bit of a highlighter too, but to be honest, I got a bit distracted by the new pearlizers. I love that there's a super sheer purple Shadowsense now, because that will be just beautiful to mix and layer. I can't wait to experiment with it with denim too. So this is Undersense. Undersense contains Capixyl, which is a lash growth serum, which will help grow your lashes by up to 46% in 4 weeks. Now that could be some length, that could be some density. It will depend on your lashes. It helps condition them. What it also does is it makes your mascara make even more of an impact. It's not necessary or mandatory to use when you want to use our mascara, but it does make it make an even bigger impact, even though the mascara on its own is volume intense. So there, I'm just showing you there, where I used that oops remover because it applied the foundation so recently, it did just disturb my makeup a little bit. So that's how I go in and patch it up if I need to. Sometimes I'll also go in and thicken up the coverage around my mouth a little bit, because I've got what's left of an allergic reaction, which can make my mouth look a bit red. I can't wait until we get the concealers in New Zealand, and then I'll be able to use a green concealer very lightly if I want to, or days that I really think it matters, and that will be a gift. So this is the Volume Intense Mascara. I wear it in the colour black. The gold tube is water resistant, the blue tube is waterproof. Now that said, it's just personal experience, but I have actually cried straight through the water resistant mascara and it hasn't gone anywhere. So I do find for a water resistant mascara, it does have great staying power, and I never find I've got it on my cheeks at the end of the day. And you know, it wouldn't be a day with me doing mascara if it didn't end up somewhere it wasn't meant to, and today it was on my hand. I think I get full marks for that piece of clumsiness. And I go in and you'll see I use a combination of going in and then wiggling it backwards and forwards and blinking onto the mascara. I find that's the quickest way to get a really good coverage. And so to avoid that becoming a bigger mess, I used a cotton bud to pick up what was left on my hand and then washed it off. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you've learned something or enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.